It's like the ETE scunch, or if Funky ever makes Flash. We all want the OTs.
Yeah, well said. But all right, guys, this is quarterfinals time. As I just mentioned, we are down to our top 8. These guys are making it through all the tamers in here today. And these guys are coming through with a team we don't see very often. As I mentioned before, for Lulu, 𝗬𝗵𝗶, 𝗬𝗏, 𝗧𝗲𝗺, 𝗬𝗵𝕋 has that. And of course, 𝗧𝗵𝗺 with the poke is the what's the little neutral one? Is Vex, right? I believe is Vex.
Yeah, Venks with an N.
Okay. Yeah, we haven't seen any of those Temtems today, so real cool team. I'm loving the synergies here. It looks like Lulu with a bit more of the aggressive team, right? Or I guess they can both be aggressive. I'm just saying a little bit more tankiness in terms of 𝗬𝗫 and 𝗬𝗶𝗆 there on 𝗧𝗵𝗺.
Yeah, I think that it kind of goes both ways. 𝗬𝗀𝗇 can be very aggro. 𝗬𝗏 can be very aggro. Venks, honestly, is like if Yowler was pissed off on turn 1 and wanted to base jump something and had Ninja. So Venks is also kind of like the aggro Yowler pick. So it kind of goes both ways. They've got a little bit of the like Tortonite and Sandby for Lelouch that I guess Sandby is not going to be tanky. It's probably the speedy fat burner bamboozler.
Yeah, and just good old mental Temtem for a whole lot of neutrals that have been running crazy lately. But you know, we haven't seen too much of that neutral presence in this tournament. It looks like they know that it tends to be a little bit weak when you do have the right team set up. So yeah, I'm loving the variety so far. Of course, we do see our staple Tems. Like you mentioned, that 𝗬𝗀 is the Tokon. And you know, Rawrzyyy, speaking of Tokon, I'm very impressed that 𝗧𝗵𝗺 is not playing a Tokon, instead playing things like the 𝗬𝗶𝗆 there. So real cool to see.
Yeah, and really, we probably have to mention 𝗬𝗀𝗆 is on at least two teams in Top Cut. That was not something I was expecting coming into today.
There we go. You heard it here. Start getting your 𝗬𝗀𝗆s, guys. Hit it up on the auction house. But yeah, it seems like a solid Temtem. We saw it from Mr. Rishi, who is in our top 8. And of course, we're seeing it here. So let's see if it does get picked up. It doesn't honestly seem too effective, right? It does have weaknesses to Tortonite. It has weaknesses to the 𝗂𝗀𝗆. It doesn't do that great against 𝗬𝗫, so I wouldn't blame 𝗧𝗵𝗺 to not pick it up this game, but of course, I'm always a fan of 𝗬𝗀𝗆s here.
Yeah, you never know. A well-timed Gamma Burst on 𝗂𝗀𝗆 is definitely something that would work in favor of 𝗧𝗵𝗺, but that is asking for a lot, and I think that the Ignis Fatuus is a little bit stronger in the long run.
Yeah, totally. I think between the option of that beautiful Luma 𝗬𝗆 or the 𝗬𝗆s, I am leaning with 𝗧𝗵𝗺 here. The 𝗬𝗆 does get picked up, but here we go, guys. Quarterfinals time. It is down to the final 8 players, as we mentioned. Doragon versus Lulu. It looks like we have a little bit of a team or a club battle, team kill, if you will. Both of these guys being represented by PDX. So let's see, at least one of their club mates will be moving forward into the semifinals guaranteed. So there's a little mini success in that by itself. But okay, heater trait does get applied. It looks like the 𝗬𝗁 does have mucus, right?
Yeah, mucus cal is definitely, it's pretty popular. I think mucus in general is always going to be very strong, reducing the damage that you take, especially from electrics at a time when Minotaur and 𝗂𝗀𝗆 are all over the place. It's definitely a strong choice, and really 𝗧𝗵𝗺's had a lot of 𝗬𝗁 successes in the past too. This bad dragon we used to be afraid of when it was it Reactive Vial or Schween's Horn, or he's had a lot of it.
No, you're so right. It was the Reactive Vial. That was the low-key, the little 𝗬𝗁 meta for 𝗧𝗵𝗺 back when he was using Reactive Vial on the 𝗬𝗁, but now it's only on the rotor these days. But yeah, I totally remember that. I even think he won a finals with that combo there, so real cool to see. I doubt he's playing it here, but I wouldn't be too surprised to see a Reactive Vial on that 𝗬𝗁. We'll keep our eyes peeled for it.
Yggdrasil does swap in to eat the Fiery Soul, not very well, one might add, but the Soil Steam, it will eat very well. 64 only down to 50. And the Toxic Ink from Bad Dragon. Oh, it's not Schween's Horn.
Yeah.
I was so excited. I got overworked.
Yeah, I was about to say 𝗬𝗏's horn for the dub for 𝗧𝗏𝗺, but no, it looks like the item not revealed just yet. So just gonna be eating those toxic ticks, but man, mom's lunch for 𝗬𝗏 paying off so handily here. The Ṭolkon already out of stamina. You can't even tornado without overexerting. You might just only have to wind burst. So with that knowledge, I think Lulu's gonna elect to just retreat here as we see. And of course the 𝗬𝗵𝗶 is gonna be coming out here. So crystal, yep, exactly what we're thinking. Crystal deluge with the synergy getting applied there.
𝗬𝗏 being asleep down at 20%. This is not where 𝗧𝗏𝗺 wants him to be. The Aqua Stone does some pretty good damage onto this Mudrid named 𝗲𝗏, but it's not able to do it every turn unless 𝗬𝗏𝗃 is running both Aqua Stone and Ice Stalactite, which is theoretically possible, but not very common. I think that this Mudrid is still going to be here next turn.
Yeah, what is the most common these days for 𝗬𝗏𝗃? It'll be something like Tink, Aqua Stone as we saw, Strangle, and then what else would you say perhaps 𝗧𝗏𝗺 might be running?
Well, it is 𝗧𝗏𝗺, so I don't think that he's going to be going the water jet route.
Okay, but yeah, I mean, at least water jet is a possibility. So if an Aqua Stone did over 50%, a water jet should indeed do over 50% as well. So this Mudrid on death's door, Lulu trying to swap out, or most likely looking to swap out. And if I'm looking at the back line, I feel like 𝗬𝗺 does not have a bad time against all this toxic. So let's see if JD wants to try to read a perhaps a 𝗬𝗺 coming through.
I like Aglom with the laundry call. But it could be. I think humiliating slap feels like a 𝗧𝗏𝗺 thing, because he was around for the old toxic meta where everyone was P-jabbing and H-slapping each other for 20 turns.
And hey, Rawrzyyy, are you hearing any little like popping, or is it just me? Let me know in the chat. I'm hearing like little pops. It's not too bad though. I'm just wondering if you're here, if anyone else is hearing it.
Pops on my end in the microphone?
Yeah, a little bit when Nash is saying a little bit, but hey, it's fine. I'm not hearing it now. I'm just making sure if it's not just me. But I think it's okay, Rawrzyyy. Apologies for the interruption.
I have an idea of what it was, so it might be fixed now. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, awesome.
Anyway, the bamboozle from the turn before protects 𝗲𝗏𝗺 the Mudrid this time, just long enough for the Soil Steam to hit 𝗬𝗺, and mirroring brings this poor Mudrid down to 20%. Walkers on the other side is very well primed to kill either of these Tems now, as Matter Teleport onto 𝗬𝗺's 34%. Oh, he does hold on, so Helicopter Kick is the one that's going to do it in for Mudrid.
That's actually huge. I know Lulu was expecting to get that confirmed kill, but no. Getting that helicopter off will be huge enough to get the 𝗲𝗏𝗺 Mudrid out of here. So not too shabby, and at the very least, 𝗬𝗺 holding on does mean that Sharp Stab potentially does get deployed here. The only thing that could put a damper on that would maybe perhaps be a fiery 3 prio fiery soul from that 25% increased Ṭolkon. That could maybe outspeed it, but honestly, I could almost see 𝗬𝗺 outspeeding that as well. But okay, it won't be the Ṭolkon. Instead, it will be that awesome 𝗬𝗺 making his appearance here in the quarterfinals. You know, though, this is interesting, though, because this Mimic from 𝗧𝗏𝗺 looking like it's really nice, right? You got the crystal attacks for 𝗬𝗵𝗶, and then you got the earth attacks for the 𝗬𝗺, right? It looks really strong here.
Well, it all depends on whether this is physical or special. With the rest of these Tems being physical, I have to imagine it's not going to do much damage, unfortunately. Because yeah, type-wise, technique-wise, this is a fantastic situation for Mudrid, but I don't know. Against bulky Tem like 𝗬𝗺, this DV might only be good for 30%.
Oh, you're right. And wait, Rawrzyyy, are you saying, did you see that is most likely a physical Mimic, or are you thinking it's going to be more of a physical one?
Yeah, I'm assuming that it's going to be physical, with a lot of these Tems on the team being physical. Crystal Deluge, I mean, I guess we see it here with the synergy. It does do a lot of damage. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe this is the perfect situation.
And hey, I have not seen Bamboozle get clicked on Zambi, so real cool to see here from Lulu. Protecting that Tortonite for perhaps something like a 𝗧𝗵𝗶 coming out from this 𝗬𝗊𝗆. But you know, if 𝗬𝗆 outspeeds, as you mentioned, something like a big Dust Vortex could be incoming into that Tortonite slot. But it does waste one of the 𝗬𝗆 attacks, and with Zambi being right around that 31% HP, I feel like any attack into that spot should get the kill on Zambi. So those are possibilities for J-Dragon to consider. I'm wondering what's gonna maybe advance his board state a little bit further. Is Zambi too much of an issue? Deal with it now, or is Tortonite potentially a bigger problem?
I think if J-Dragon doubles the Zambi spot, he's pretty much guaranteed to kill either the Tolkien or the 𝗂𝗍𝗪 as well if it swaps. And worst case scenario is you kill the Zambi and pop Tortonite's Boozle, which isn't really all that necessary, but I mean, that's not a bad play. If you outspeed, if you don't take any damage, you're able to knock it down. That would work out.
Yeah, looks like J-Dragon having a different line of play in mind. Gonna be swapping it out for the 𝗬𝗫, getting those whole moves online. And it's actually gonna be a double swap for the side of J-Dragon. So not too bad. Let's see what Lulu decided to do this game.
Matter teleport onto Bandragon, 94 down to 69. Noise. Crystal Deluge, not with the synergy on the 𝗬𝗪𝗔. It does go down. I think J-Dragon was trying to pull some shenanigans there and get himself a Mimic 𝗬𝗪𝗔 to fight with instead. But it's not going to be so. The Tortonite potentially reading it from the Luch, killing 𝗬𝗪𝗔, stopping it in its tracks, and just forcing this Firefox back out.
Yeah, not too bad with that evasion getting cleared off this turn. So things like that 𝗧𝗵𝗶 back online. And it does have... oh, wait, no, that's Lava Wave, right? 𝗬𝗆 also has access to Lava Wave, right?
No, I think it's Fiery Soul and 𝗧𝗵𝗆. So it doesn't have Lava Wave.
I was mistaken. Okay, so it doesn't have Lava Wave synergy, only the 𝗧𝗵𝗆. That's what I'm thinking of. So hey, 𝗧𝗵𝗆 still a very, very effective technique to Tortonite. But okay, I'm wondering though, I guess the 𝗬𝗪𝗔 was just there to eat some damage because it was still neutral damage on that 𝗬𝗆. Or actually no, the Mimic was in that spot. So maybe he was just trying to sleep the Mimic? I'm not too sure about that. But either way, that was the play Lulu decided on.
It could have been an attempted sleep. I don't think that Lulu would have gone for a sleep play knowing that he was not able to synergize. But either way, it's not that big of an issue. The 𝗧𝗵𝗆 does so much damage. Toxic Ink from Bandragon will be enough to kill the Zambi with its poison. And Rotten Goo, no synergy, low prio. 𝗬𝗆𝗆 is nice and low now at 31%. And yeah, yes, just takes a rest, goes its way to the poison, gives an Ignis Fatuus, which, because it was to the poison, counts as being next turn. And there's nothing 𝗂𝗍𝗪 can do, so it's got to be the Tolkien instead.
Yeah, such an awesome interaction there. Such a good trait for 𝗬𝗆. Obviously, the competitive trait here, when a Temtem goes down, you get that status of the evasion status effect. So really, really cool to see. And as you mentioned, 𝗂𝗍𝗪, try not to come in just yet because it probably would take over 50% from another 𝗧𝗵𝗆. So instead, bringing in a Fire Temtem, that doesn't take too much, but you know, 𝗬𝗆 does have strong mental techniques as well. So just strong neutral damage into the Tolkien spot doesn't seem too bad as well. And you know, with 𝗬𝗪𝗔 being here, that could be a double up into that spot. Something like a Water Jet or just another little Aqua Stone should do the job as well.
And Fiery Soul, so no matter teleport, this is a special 𝗬𝗆. Windburst onto the 𝗬𝗪𝗆 does a lot of damage, and we see the reactive Isle tech of the Bandragon of old. And Water Jet, he is running the spicy aggro, kills the Tolkien just that easily. And now 𝗬𝗆 doesn't have that evasion this turn. He's not going to be able to click Psy-Surge. He's not even going to be able to matter teleport. The hasty lunge will outspeed and kill. J-Dragon's got to figure out what he wants this Mudred to turn into, and quick.
Yeah, I'm thinking, obviously, if you swap out the 𝗬𝗆, the Mimic's going to become the 𝗂𝗍𝗪, which isn't terrible, right? I mean, I say that, but of course, a big crystal spike should be doing a lot of damage onto the opposing 𝗂𝗍𝗪 if it becomes that. So, oh man, this is a tough one here. Is there any way to get the Tortonite? I don't think so. So yeah, Lulu doing a good job making sure that he can't get a hold of that Tortonite here. So let's see what the 𝗬𝗐 will be swapping out to. And it is the Mimit. So wait a second. He does want to become the 𝗂𝗀𝗺. Maybe just thinking 𝗬𝗐𝗍𝗬 next turn. That could be a thing.
That's very scary though, because there's still a crystal over there. With Deluge, with possible spikes, that could be a lot of damage dealt.
I guess I'm saying it here. So eating the hasty lunge there, anticipated for the 𝗬𝗐. So good read on 𝗧𝗵𝗺's side. And Tortonite, not trying to overexert this turn, does decide to rest. So not too bad. Crystal Spike, of course, always online, and it is a 3 priority play. But the question is, how much speed is on this Mimit? Is it able to outspeed a 3 prio play? From a little bit of the slower Tortonite? I don't know if a lot of Mimits run all the way speed like a normal 𝗂𝗀𝗺 would, huh? I don't think so.
I think it depends entirely on the other Tems on the team, and since 𝗧𝗵𝗺 doesn't really have any of those max speed, max attack Tems, I don't imagine that Mimit is that way. Faster than a Tortonite though, that's not asking for too much. It might still be possible. Outspeed the Tortonite, get that kill with an Oshidashi, and then just have a little bit too much for the 𝗂𝗀𝗺 on the real 𝗂𝗀𝗺 to deal with when having to fight all these other Tems and itself.
All right, we get our questions answered right here. The Crystal Spike 3 priority will go first, bringing it all the way down to 13%. Uppercut, taking it all the way down. So Tortonite, at least he did get a farewell Crystal Spike. So that's the best Lulu could ask for, but with the final Temtem to his name, I just don't think it's possible here. It's close. It's kind of close. Hasty Lunge maybe takes down the 𝗂𝗶𝗺, but with the 𝗬𝗐 still kicking, the Nidra still there, but man, it still ended up being very, very close. I might be speaking a bit too soon, but it does feel with this Temtem advantage on JD's side, he should be taking round number 1 here.
Mom's Lunch once more, just trying to get rid of that stamina as a Charged Iron Filings for 𝗂𝗀𝗺. He's not going to overexert, which means this isn't the perfect AoE board that 𝗧𝗵𝗺 was looking for. The Hasty Lunge is still viable, although it is a good bait, right? It kind of throws Lelouch into the mind games where is he going to stay? Is he going to go? The swap is still available.
Yeah, so true. As the mind games here, does he want to overexert? Get rid of the 𝗬𝗐 here before that big 𝗬𝗀 impacts it itself. And Matter teleport for the effective damage, 76%. Oh, it went down so fast we couldn't even see it in here.
He played the mind games with 𝗧𝗵𝗺, and 𝗧𝗵𝗺 won.
And there we go. Round number 2 of our quarterfinals has begun, folks. So let's see. I believe the bans were on things like the... Wait a minute. I'm actually... Okay, yeah, the Gario was the same ban for 𝗧𝗵𝗺's team. And it had to be the Hazoret, because we didn't see any bit of the Hazoret in that game 1.
Yeah, and Hazoret would have been really solid for Lelouch, so it makes sense, especially with the Tolkien being first pick. Those fires are really solid. The wind is really solid. Toxic would have been very nice. The Vanks does get picked up first from 𝗧𝗵𝗺, though. We didn't see Vanks last time at all. The aggro Yowler has been released. Base jump, although the Matter teleport is on the other side. That's not really what he's looking for.
Of course, and that is due to that counter pick, right? So that's the benefit of even going down 1 game. You do get to have that counter pick for that second game, giving you a little bit slight advantage in these matchups. As Rawrzyyy said, Matter teleport, staring Vex straight in the face. He does not want to eat it. So virtually forcing 𝗧𝗵𝗺 to make a turn 1 swap on that side, which means he only has literal 1 side to work with in terms of outputting damage. So not too bad. Already turn 1 a little advantageous going in the favor of Luluchroar here. But of course, turn 1 doesn't tell the whole tale, of course. So we should see how it plays out going forward.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be good swaps for 𝗧𝗵𝗺. Just not the Nidra still necessarily in front of a Tolkien.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it looks like it's still a pretty good draft for 𝗧𝗵𝗺. I think that Lelouch could pull back, though. The 𝗬𝗵𝗃 in front of the AoE is pretty terrifying, as well as if the Mimit takes Mudred again, that's a solid class with water.
And all right,
the nickname to B tier.
Wait, what was that?
The nickname on Tolkien, B tier. It's laughing in the face of everyone who doesn't think that it's S tier.
Yes. Yeah, a common thing in the Temtem community. Tolkien is indeed S tier. A lot of people would consider it high A to S tier. So yeah, nice little meme here being B tier. Maybe he knows the future. Maybe Tolkien does get nerfed in the future. But as we mentioned, 𝗃s did not want to eat the hands of that Matter Teleport, so does make a swap into the 𝗬𝗪𝗀. And it's kind of a do, damn if you don't, damn if you do, because as you mentioned, Tolkien is still here, and the 𝗰𝗶𝗆s does connect very well onto the 𝗬𝗪𝗀.
Yeah, but look at the stamina cost from 𝗬𝗵𝗵 for that one hit. It didn't do that much damage, and it brings 𝗬𝗵𝗵 so far down. Even with that sweatband, I'm not confident that he can keep fighting.
Yeah, we will see. I mean, yeah, stamina guzzled up just in that very first turn. So if he wants to go for another Matter Teleport, he will have to overexert. The question is it worth it though? I didn't get to see how much HP was taken from that Matter Teleport. I'm assuming it was enough because J-Dragon will be swapping out. So instead of the Matter Teleport, it will be the Bamboozle, keeping that from eating something like an Aqua Stone this turn.
And the Bamboozle would have been very good protection from an Aqua Stone, but instead it's the Tink onto 𝗬𝗵𝗵. Get a little bit of ticks going there if it does want to swap out, keep itself a little bit healthy while it regenerates stamina. No longer has that option. The AoE though does take 30% on swapping. That means Tornado is really not going to be good here. I think the Fox will survive, but not with much left over. If it's a double in for the OX on 𝗬𝗵𝗵, that's a dead Fox, that's a dead 𝗬𝗪𝗀, that's a lot of damage on a 𝗃s.
Yeah, I'm wondering here, does Lulu potentially want to save the 𝗬𝗵𝗵 for the 𝗃s? And it looks like the answer will be yes. So saving it for that neutral Temtem in the backline of Doragon. So instead, bringing out this Mudred here, Fiery Soul popping the Bamboozle, which means it should be a Water Jet, 55% all the way down, and that is a devastating turn for Lulu. He doesn't get to deploy the Tornado. That is a lot of damage, a missed opportunity, or maybe a opportunity cost, if you will. Not being able to get off that Tornado with the hand fan is so much damage, especially when you consider how much potential damage it could have done on the 𝗂𝗶𝗆, right? We're talking about most likely over 50%. And that was the true damage dealer for the likes of 𝗂𝗶𝗆, right? So Lulu's gonna have a tough time against this bad dragon here.
Yeah, I think it would have been well over 50%. I use a Tolkien with not full special attack, but with Aloe Vera, which is just a little bit more damage than the hand fan, and it almost obliterates every single 𝗂𝗶𝗆 that it sees. I think that could have potentially been like 90% from the Tornado.
Yeah,
on the high end. But that's a very big missed opportunity. I think that was pretty much all in the morale boosting whip of Mudred, not wanting to overexert the Tolkien that turn, thinking maybe, just maybe, I'm still boozled, I might be able to survive, they might be afraid that I'm doubling 𝗂𝗶𝗆, and so he's gonna leave. And it just didn't work out. J-Dragon called the bluff, made the read, killed the Tolkien, and has a pretty nice spot now for this bad dragon.
Absolutely, exactly as you said. It was all the mind games here. You know, he didn't go ahead and choose to overexert with the Tornado because he was thinking that 𝗂𝗶𝗆 was most likely going to swap. But J-Dragon, no fear in this guy today. He's holding the fort, holding it down. But okay, this turn he does retreat for this Mimit here, and it is going to be transforming to the 𝗬𝗵𝗵. That is not what you want to see. So did Lulu read a Mimit coming in here? Really well done if he did.
Crystal spikes onto AoE first, doesn't get the kill. Fiery Soul firing back, almost half with the burn. It's just over. And now, can 𝗬𝗵𝗵 keep AoE alive long enough to get the 𝗬𝗵𝗵 proc?
That is a good question. Let's see. I mean, we have seen the 3 prio from 𝗬𝗺𝗺 outspeed, 𝗂𝗀𝗺𝗀s in the past. So I'm pretty sure it should be able to outspeed something like a 𝗬𝗵𝗶. So let's see. It looks like the 𝗬𝗺 did not want to stick around to find out. Instead, the 𝗧𝗫𝗀 most likely trying to eat this crystal spike. Let's see where it's going. Okay, at the very least, you do get the kill on the 𝗧𝗫𝗀. So that's still worth it, though, for Lulu.
That is a lot of stamina cost on both of these Tems, though, and Matter Teleport also with the stamina cost, not doing any damage at all. Bamboozle avoids damage. 57% is 57%. 𝗬𝗵𝗶 still nice and healthy, and really Bad Dragon, it's not threatening anything here. It's just going to be strangle spam on either of these Tems. Lelouch, if you've got it, this is the turn to garden.
Oh, true. You know, we have yet to see a 𝗬𝗺𝗺's Garden in this entire tournament, so it would be quite the feat. It doesn't have the stamina to do so without overexerting, most likely, so he does have to overexert. But on something like the 𝗂𝗶𝗆 here that he has no clean answers to, I feel like it should be worth. The question here, though, stands. If he does go for the Doom, what is the most likely way to remove it from yourself? Can you do something like Laundry on yourself, or is that only against other targets?
I think you can self-target a Laundry.
Okay.
But we did see the Water Jet earlier, so we know all of Bad Dragon's moves. There's no Laundry there. There could be... Oh, well, no, it's a Mucus, so Fiery Soul won't burn. Maybe just the sacrifice from Vanks would be the only possible play.
True. Okay, so a good sacrifice could be the line, but it looks like if you can't deal with it just yet, let's go ahead and put it to rest just for the next couple of turns. But Nightmare Feed, wait a second, this awesome animation getting the upper hand on 𝗂𝗶𝗆. It looks like it doesn't wake it up, so forgive me, guys. What am I missing here? Does 𝗬𝗵𝗶, does that technique not wake up a sleeping opponent? It does not look so, right? It's kind of haunting your nightmares. It does make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, it's 30% damage and 30% heal without waking up the enemy. It's really solid.
Yeah, super powerful. I see why he has it on his kit there. Really effective. We were just saying he had no true damage, but that Nightmare Feed really took a chunk out of 𝗂𝗶𝗆's HP. In comes that beautiful Luma 𝗂𝗏, and whoa, good read on Lulu, expecting the 𝗬𝗆 to come through, so make sure that Aquatic Whirlwind comes online. And hey, facing off against double fire Temtem, Lulu getting a bit of that upper hand today.
Oh man, and the Matter Teleport killing the real one means there's not really any worries. This can just be an Aquatic Whirlwind next turn. Nothing stopping him.
Yeah, very true. I was almost a little scared for the side of Lulu that the Ignis was going to stay, but if it happens during the turn, it's only for that turn. So yeah, it had to happen at the very end. But interesting enough, it is not the 𝗂𝗶𝗆 coming in against the 𝗂𝗏. It looks like he just wants Vex in. I'm wondering why though, right? Does he really expect 𝗬𝗵𝗆 to retreat? Because if I was Lulu, I would probably be inclined to just overexert, right? I feel like, or of course that could be the bait. You know what? Knowing J Dragon, I think that's the bait, right? He's saying, hey, I have a nice little neutral temp for you to take down. And then might go ahead and make the swap to 𝗂𝗶𝗆.
I wonder if it was even a step before that. And instead of thinking the Vank spot is going to be the target, if 𝗂𝗶𝗆 had come out, then we know that it's safe to Aquatic Whirlwind the Mimit. With 𝗂𝗶𝗆 still in the back, it's not necessarily clean. This could be a lot of damage back on 𝗂𝗏 and take that down before you're able to kill the Mimit. But of course, if you lose the Firefox, you're not getting it back at this point.
Yeah, I could totally see it. And man, these players really working well with their swaps. Of course, J Dragon really putting on quite the performance for Mom's Lunch and his 𝗧𝗫𝗀. And same can be said about Lulu with that morale boosting whip. But here we go. Damage is damage. Savage Suplex right around 60%. And you know, you nailed it perfectly, Rawrzyyy. Expecting that Aquatic Whirlwind on the 𝗬𝗆, having that 𝗂𝗶𝗆 in the back line, eating it up beautifully. So well done for JD. But this is still a really close matchup going into turn 10 or turn 9. But I do say, I feel like the grass is slowly slipping from 𝗧𝗵𝗺's hand. I think Lulu slowly but surely trying to run away with this, but I say that. But we do get this Mudrid Mimetize coming through.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
That was not at all what I was expecting. I thought that was a little bit too much from 𝗧𝗵𝗺, but no. Mimit turning into Mudrid is allowed to exist. The 𝗬𝗫 just barely hanging on to kill the 𝗬𝗫, and it all just became possible for 𝗧𝗵𝗺 again. Wow. I was expecting 𝗬𝗃s Mimit 𝗬𝗃s for the end of this game and just trying to output as much neutral damage as possible, but now with the Mudrid, with the 𝗬𝗬 gone, this is looking really solid. I think the only scare is the real Mudrid is going to be faster, and DV hurts a lot.
Yeah, exactly right. The thing is, that might have just been the winning play that 𝗧𝗵𝗺 needed, right? It honestly counters the remaining of Lulu's squad. As you mentioned, you got the Earth Techniques for Tortonite, the Crystal for the Zambi. Let's see how much the Wogger's Mimit is going to be eating. Not so much, but the Soil Steam is going to be coming out. How much will it do? All the way down to 13. Trying to reciprocate the favor here. Tortonite should be going all the way down, and that it does. So let's see. These are getting neck and neck. These guys really want to advance on forward. It does rely on Lulu, though. Does he go down here and let 𝗧𝗵𝗺 advance, or do we have ourselves a game number 3? We're going to be finding out here shortly. I think Lulu's Mudrid went first, right? So it should go first again.
Yeah, there's no way that 𝗧𝗵𝗺 can confirm this outspeed. It's still so tough. 𝗬𝗃s is really, really solid. I don't think he's going to be strong enough to survive. And actually sacrificing the Mudrid, taking just that one kill and going, in the end, it might have been better off being 𝗬𝗃s Mimit 𝗬𝗃s, because you wouldn't have taken the big Soil Steam damage, right?
Yeah, potentially, but let's see. Going into the mental Temtem with the Ninja Jutsu just because he has to, but Matter Teleport should be decimating poor little 𝗬𝗃s. And oh, actually survived. Okay. I was certain it was going down, but you know, it was a Mudrid and it's going to be staying a Mudrid. So man, oh man, 𝗧𝗵𝗺 with so little HP, right around under 10 HP. So even though Lulu has very little stamina, I think it's going to be fine to overexert, because I think you're going to be guaranteeing the victory for Lulu.
Yeah, absolutely. You outspeed, you deluge Woggers, Mimit goes down, 𝗬𝗃s, there's just no way you can't outspeed Matter Teleport. Ooh, bye, 𝗬𝗃s.
Yeah,
5%, good. It's not today.
Yeah, not today. Big O Zambi taking it down, so...
Yeah, it looks like they're just getting into it. The 𝗬𝗺 takes the first ban. The Gario, come on, do it. Gario takes the first ban. I think we're going to see a fairly similar game plan here, as they both were neck and neck the entire time, both games. I think that they want to keep going the same way that they have been.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that momentum was stolen from 𝗧𝗵𝗺 from that very initial turn. We said at the top of the pick and bans, the 𝗬𝗃s had to retreat. So maybe ever since that very opening turn, which kind of leads to say, you know, that whoever gets the counter pick does tend to have a little bit of that advantage. So now it's 𝗧𝗵𝗺's time to get the counter pick. But you know, not too much of a counter with the Tolkon being picked up from Lulu. So good melee techniques for the Tortonite, but not so good against the Tolkon. So this isn't as one-sided as we saw the previous game too, right? At least for the opener.
Yeah, I think that 𝗬𝗺 is definitely a better choice. I was maybe in my head thinking Firefox was coming through, but that would have been fantastic for Lelouch, since this seems to be a speedy Tortonite. It was outspeeding the Fiery Soul before, which is kind of insane to think about.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing I really enjoy about these best of 3 series is that these tamers really learn each other's team, and they really learn to identify what really gave me a lot of trouble. And I couldn't agree more with Lulu here. That Mimic from 𝗧𝗵𝗵, he was playing it so perfectly, stealing that Mudrid to do big damage on the Tortonite / the Zambi. It was really well played. So he's completely neglecting that Mimic from JD's side. And you know, I think, oh no, I was about to say, I almost saw 𝗧𝗵𝗵 ban the Zambi, but he's going to be banning the other mental Temtem in that Minotaur, so not too bad as well.
Yeah, and 𝗬𝗚 coming through is good, but I'm curious how fast this 𝗬𝗚 is. 𝗧𝗵𝗵's not typically the speedy kind of aggro, and if this 𝗬𝗚 is below that like 300 or even 322, 323 speed, it's not going to be outspeeding 𝗂𝗀 and definitely won't be outspeeding Mudrid. And those are kind of the big ticket items that you absolutely want to Crystal Bite or Hook Kick before they attack you.
Yeah, exactly. You would almost think that you would want to have your 𝗬𝗚 fast enough, but if you have a 2-speedy, you're just going to be super a glass cannon. So you do want to try to, you know, have a bit of HP on that 𝗬𝗚 as well. But yeah, this is a tough matchup because the only way to do some big damage on that 𝗂𝗀 Mudrid is to get off those moves. But you know, better against the 𝗂𝗀 than the Mudrid, because 𝗂𝗀 doesn't have too much effective onto the 𝗬𝗚s, but the Mudrid definitely does. But let's see, we do get the 𝗂𝗀 swapping in here, Crystal Spike. So a little mirroring should be going back its way. Yeah, about a little 15% there, not too bad.
I think I said 200 a minute ago. I meant 300. I don't know. It's already been kind of a long night. But helicopter kick staying in, dealing the damage. Tortonite down to 40%. 𝗬𝗍gaming taking the hit kind of like a champion, but the Toxic Ink brings it closer to the 50%. That means the Sharp Stabs is very scary. That's within range.
I think so. And you think Sharp Stab better than, you know, if a Sharp Stab does kill, if he knows, if he's already calculated how fragile, if you will, this 𝗂𝗀 is, then yeah, I think Sharp Stab goes. But I'm pretty sure he should be quick enough for a good old Crystal Bite as well. But let's see. I mean, he honestly doesn't have any other swap out except Tolkon. So if 𝗧𝗵𝗵 understands the current situation, he could go for a double up, but no, a 𝗬𝗚 saving it for down the road. Out here comes 𝗬𝗆. Does he still? No, it's a double swap. So 𝗧𝗵𝗵 going for another turn 2 double swap. Very interesting.
And this is just big on the defenses. We want to hit the stamina. We want to resist the Crystal Spikes is kind of still doing a lot. It's that neutral hit with the mental, and Oshidashi on mental as well. It's not going to be an attack. The hasty lunge or even sparkling bullet onto the Calabash now would have been the resisting Yggdrasil. It's just a big old hit on Firefox. That might not have been what 𝗧𝗵𝗵 was expecting, but well played from Lelouch. Whenever your back is in the corner, just punch the same thing twice.
Yeah, I think so too. Damage is damage, and that he got, right? So 𝗬𝗆 already down about a third HP remaining. So one more technique like that should be all she wrote for the 𝗬𝗆. So that's something 𝗧𝗵𝗵 has to be careful of. But you know, 𝗬𝗆 decently fast, but no way is it faster than a hasty lunge with 3 priorities staring it down. So 𝗧𝗵𝗵 thinking about what does he want to swap into. You would almost think 𝗬𝗚 to eat something like that hasty lunge, but you still need the 𝗬𝗚 for the Zambi, for the Mudrid. So it's kind of tricky. He's in a tough spot there. Lulu's doing a really good job putting the pressure on him.
Yeah, I definitely think 𝗬𝗚 is worth saving. It's just like you said, without 𝗬𝗚, Sandby is really strong. 𝗬𝗃s, though, this is a perfect time for 𝗬𝗃s to come and play. Charged Iron Filings as well means that Yggdrasil's not going to be taking the effective damage from Tolkien. This has worked out fantastically for 𝗧𝗵𝗵.
Yeah, a little bit counterproductive for Lulu here. Now that he has Tolkon, he virtually had a 2-hit KO from the Tolkon. But as you mentioned, now the Nullify being applied on both of the Temtems from 𝗧𝗵𝗵's side. Man, a little bit of a hurtful play, but you know, he still got damage across. He's still taking away the items there. I'm not too sure what 𝗬𝗃s is holding. I'm willing to bet it might be the resistance badge. I didn't see it last game though.
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
Yeah, we'll keep our eyes open for it.
I'm until we see it for sure, I'm going to tell myself that he's using the Spicely adrenaline shot tech where you can strangle into Savage Suplex.
Oh, I could see something like that. And wait a second, strangle from 𝗬𝗬𝗀 or does 𝗬𝗃s run it?
𝗬𝗃s gets strangled as well. 𝗬𝗃s has such an incredible moveset. Whenever you think you know what it's going to do, it can do 4 other things.
Oh man, that just means it's a really, really good Temtem. As long as your opponents aren't able to predict it, that's what makes a good Temtem here. So Toxic Ink going into the 𝗬𝗶𝗆, chunking a little bit as you would expect 𝗬𝗬𝗀 to go. So Savage Suplex will be half effective. And man, 𝗬𝗵𝗶 looks like he doesn't get all this protein in, but man, it's super, super tanky sometimes.
You know, he's skinny, but he's got really good bones.
Yeah, it looks that way, right? Or maybe it's like a mental force field to reinforce its body, right? I might be stretching a little bit here, but you know, play along with me. We'll leave it at that.
It is still down to half though, with another toxic tick to go. It is looking scary. 𝗂𝗏𝗺 swapping in is definitely solid. Get some water available for the Mudrid. But 𝗃 staying in against Yes is pretty scary.
And here we go, a Ninja Jutsu. It looks like it doesn't have resistance badge, but the Matter Teleport making him pay for staying in. It should be enough to take it down, but no, we did see last game, it doesn't take over 75%, just about under 60% on it. So it looks like J-Dragon didn't make too bad of a decision leaving it in, because if he's able to get off a final Savage Suplex, it should be enough to just do some good damage, if not get the entire kill on the Mudrid. But the question that always stands is, how do you outspeed a 3 Prio Crystal Luge? I don't think you can here. Or no, he just used it. Never mind. So, but maybe a 𝗬𝗏𝗺?
Yeah, it's definitely, it's going to be pretty tough. I think 𝗃s could swap in for another Mom's Lunch proc, but what does that really get us in the long run? You know, 𝗬𝗵𝗆 will overexert if it attacks. Mudrid probably doesn't overexert with that, but it's also just as likely that Mudrid turns into Tortonite, or even Tolkien right now, considering 𝗂𝗏𝗺 is asleep and not able to fight back. Yeah, it is the 𝗬𝗵𝗆 for that Tolkien, so we want to get the Tornado available for 𝗂𝗏𝗺. If 𝗬𝗏𝗃 comes in here, yeah, that's a very good board state for Tolkien. Well read by Lelouch.
And you know, this Mom's Lunch coming in does end up waking up the 𝗂𝗏𝗺. So 𝗬𝗏𝗺 intended for the 𝗃s kill. Water Jet getting the upper hand on the Mudrid, so that is big. Making sure the 𝗂𝗏𝗺 wakes up. Masterful play for J-Dragon, understanding every Temtem interaction on his team and utilizing that Mom's Lunch. The best I've seen today, if not ever, honestly. He's really working with Mom's Lunch very well, so good on him. So let's see 𝗬𝗵𝗆 making his appearance one more time. But as you mentioned, Tolkien online with that big old tornado. Can it get the job done? 72%. Is that a little bit too tall to ask for from a tornado, Rawrzyyy?
I don't know. Lelouch's does have the hand van. I know we saw that before. So it does get a little extra boost. If it is max special attack, I think it could be enough. We saw Wind Burst earlier, but I don't think it was on a 𝗂𝗏𝗺.
Yeah, I think J-Dragon's done a good job of being able to you know, ignore those wind attacks from you know, from the Tokon onto the 𝗂𝗏𝗺. So he might just elect to do that again, but instead of the 𝗬𝗏𝗀, or instead of the 𝗂𝗏𝗺 swapping out, it will be the 𝗬𝗏𝗀, expecting maybe the tornado there. Oh, it's a fire tornado. Huge read for J-Dragon. Well done.
And we saw the Water Jet previously, so Aqua Stone should still be available, but Bamboozle, it's not going to happen. It won't connect, and J-Dragon knows. He clicks the cheeky tink. 𝗬𝗵𝗆 down to 5% with a tick to go. It's life expectancy written in stone. Turn 8, that's the end for 𝗬𝗵𝗆.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know we are spectating a high-level matchup when no evasion gets popped, right? Whenever these tamers go from Bamboozle, the other opponent always has the read on it. They don't go for the Toxic Ink or Aqua Stone. They always end up going for the other ally Temtem, right? So it's just such high level play, super impressive all around. But let's take a look. This is coming down to the wire. It looks in terms of that HP advantage, that does end up favoring Doragon, of course, as well as that Temtem advantage. So he does have that upper footing against Lulu in this round number 3. And I don't see... I mean, to be fair, 𝗂𝗀 by himself can pretty much deal with 3 out of the final 4 remaining. It's just an issue of having it survive a whole lot of attacks coming its way, right? Because from his the Temtem itself, the typing alone can do a whole lot. But when it comes down to it, you have to output it, have a whole lot of stamina left over, and it just doesn't seem like it's possible here.
Yeah, 𝗬𝗧 does swap in, takes a big tornado with Mirroring fighting back nicely, and a Bamboozle and a rest. J-Dragon understanding he still has that 1 turn of exhaust. There's no reason attacking anything because they're all going to evade. 𝗬𝗧, I don't know if that was the best swap in, but I don't think that it's going to be a problem. I'm just, I guess, a little bit worried about Tortonite because it does outspeed the Firefox and does do quite a lot of damage to everything else. Well, resisting toxic in nature, can't be toxic ticked, resist water. Tortonite could be really good for Lelouch here in the end game as long as it has enough HP to exist.
Exactly right. And yeah, it should be a-okay. I mean, if it comes down to it, we don't know if it has Garden. Of course, with that Garden, you get the 8% heals, and then you apply Doom. So that could be a way for this Tortonite to survive the long run. But let's see what Lulu has in mind. You know, you do have Sharp Stabs online, but unfortunately, the 𝗬𝗵𝗶 does have that 1 tick of evasion, so not going to be able to get through that. And you don't want to try to mess with the 𝗂𝗀, but you know... if you leave 𝗬𝗧 in and go for perhaps like a hook kick on it, it's almost forcing Lulu to go for a Fiery Soul overexertion on the 𝗬𝗧. On top of the mirroring, it's almost effectively the same as going for a hook kick, right? So I feel like it's almost a free hook kick in that spot. It doesn't seem too bad.
Yeah, I don't know if I would do hook kick. It would be really good on the Tortonite, which is actually going in the other spot. If that's a Sharp Stabs on 𝗬𝗵𝗶 trying to finish off the poor mental. No, it's a swap as well. 𝗬𝗧 retreating for the Yggdrasil. This is really the end of days for Tolkien if it attacks. It is not surviving its own OX anymore. Fiery Soul. Yggdrasil down to 23. B tier all the way to 0. And Tortonite just going to eat this Toxic Ink from 40.9 down to 36.5. This is going to be a long game without 𝗬𝗧. It was a good idea protecting it.
Yeah, J-Dragon doing such a great job, as you mentioned, protecting the 𝗬𝗧 and effectively doing the same idea we mentioned. Instead of reciprocating the damage with the mirroring damage, you do it with things like the Mom's Lunch, 50% increase on that stamina consumption, allowing the 𝗂𝗀 to go all the way down. So I think there's little to be said here. Lulu finding himself with the final 2 Temtems. I believe J-Dragon will be commencing forward into the semifinals, guys. It looks pretty certain here.
Yeah, I think the difficulties this game for Lelouch really came with the Mom's Lunch swap spam. I think that he potentially was trying to read like, okay, this is the time that Yggdrasil stays in. It can't keep leaving, right? It's got to stay eventually. Because why would 𝗬𝗏𝗃 just keep sitting and staying and waiting in front of a Tolkien? But J-Dragon did it.
Yeah, those
continued to do it.
Exactly. Those are like the super high level mind games. Because yeah, 𝗬𝗏𝗃 was just sitting pretty this entire time. But wait a second. Okay, wait. Final 2 Temtems. Lulu doing such a great job evening out the playing field here. But 𝗬𝗧 should be able to be the fastest Temtem on the board, but if somehow this Crystal Spikes goes off first, that could be spelling doom for JD. You know, I was saying Lulu was out of this, but I take it back. He is not out of it whatsoever. It just comes down to speed here, right? Does the Crystal Spike outspeed the hook kick? I'm not too sure. What are you thinking, Rawrzyyy?
They've already made their moves, and it does. Speedy Tortonite is better than base speed Gialis. You've heard it here first. Mirroring is a little bit, but no, it does. The Bamboozle on itself for Sandby means humiliating slap on this bad dragon. I think he knew what was happening. I'm surprised though with the humiliating slap instead of killing Sandby. I'm surprised that that wasn't a sharp stabs.
Yeah, you know, this is absolutely unbelievable. I take it all back. I was completely counting Lulu out simply because he had, you know, J-Dragon had that advantage, but now he's sleeping and Nightmare Feed should be enough to take it all the way down. An incredible comeback for Luluchroar here. Unreal. Unreal, guys. Hype in the chat. Lulu and J-Dragon getting it done. So congratulations, Lulu, moving on to the semifinals.